Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about after Form 4. What next? What is next for you? You that you have finished your Form 4 exam. What do you want next? What are you planning next for your life? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So, Mr. Benjamin, before we went on a break, we had asked a question, and you said you have to explain. Please explain to us.
I want to talk about two things. One, there is what we call knowledge. Knowledge comes from books. And there is what we call wisdom. And wisdom does not come from books. Wisdom comes from the Creator. And true wisdom is to know your shortcomings. Let me talk about the part that I was talking about, reasoning. Because this comes with knowledge. Reasoning comes with knowledge, and it comes from books and the study that we do. You know, when we talk about reasoning, a Form 4 leaver and a graduate, they don't reason the same. And that's why sometimes sometimes you may sit with people, and as they argue, you hear somebody say, I cannot reason with you. Because when I feel your level of knowledge, what you have is it's a little bit shallow. From there, because we get that knowledge from books. Yes, of course, to study, education is key. It's very important to go to school. Now we come out of that education, and then I have many friends. They finished their graduates, but they are not doing anything. They're doing small businesses, and then they are so frustrated. Why? It is simply because we get now to the third level of the function of the heart, and that is hope. This is planted by great people and politicians. They'll promise you anything in this world. Great people will talk about great things, and then because of that, they are talking about the knowledge that you have, the education that you have. So because of that, you get into school, and then you are thinking how you should study deeply and know what you are supposed to do. But the problem is that the more you wait after education, sometimes that hope that you had gets deteriorating, because you stay for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. All the promises that you had, none of them is working. From that point, people get into despair, and from that point, they get isolated. Most of the guys, they commit suicide because of that. They think this is the end of everything, because I had a lot of hope, and then it's like things are not working. From that point, because, it doesn't mean that because I go to school and I get education, I will get a very strong heart in me. This can't work that way. That's why we need the fourth level, which is mind, and that's now why we are talking about mind education. And mind education is that unseen world of the heart, which no one can tell. And this one has to come. This comes now with the wisdom. And wisdom is to know your shortcomings. Why? Let me quote about William Shakespeare. I'm very happy that Mushoki wants to become a writer. William Shakespeare said like this: fools think they are wise, but wise men, they know that they are fools. Because they know they are fools, that's why they keep on learning every time, isn't it? That's why the people who are very wise, you meet with them. They are the great CEOs, and they are good listeners. They meet with Salome, they would want to listen to Salome. They get something from her. They meet with Eunice, they want to listen to Eunice and get something from there. They meet with Mushoki, they want to listen to one thing and get something from Mushoki. They'll meet with even kids, and they're listening to them. They're learning things from these kids. But fools, they always think that they know. And these fools, if you go and meet with that kind of a person in the office, the CEOs always want to meet with people. The owners of the companies, they want to meet with people because they are wise people and they are great listeners. But the people in the middle are these kind of people who think that I know. And these such kind of people, they never learn. Why? Washafika mwisho. That's why I'm saying I'm appreciating Mushoki, because him, at his age, is thinking of even studying more, which means only one thing that I want to instill in the heart of Musyoki, not only to look for knowledge in the books, but also to look for wisdom. But wisdom is to know your shortcomings. Because the moment I know my shortcomings, at that point, my ears open to listen to other people. My ears become open and the ears of the heart become open. And now when it comes to the ears of the heart, that's why now I need to go back to the blueprint, which is the Bible, and then I get the wisdom that is in the Bible, which is coming from God. Mm-hmm. Such people, they fly and go places. Such people, they become great people. Mm-hmm. Why? Mm-hmm. Because they're always in the mood of learning. Mm-hmm. But when you see most of the people, they're not. Why are students becoming, they actually do not have a focus. Mm. It is simply because of one thing. Mm. Let's go back to the root of everything. Mm. Because I once said like this, I listened to one lecturer and then he was saying like, if you are in a kitchen and then the tap gets spoiled, fools will start repairing it from there. You know, the water is coming out. True. But wise people, they go to the main source of the water and then they close it from there so that they can repair. True. So people are only looking at the surface of the problems of the students in school, but they do not go back to the root of the problem. The root of the problem, if we go back to the root of the problem, let's start from there. Now the family structure. How is the family structure? You mentioned something. Then we were thinking continuously. Now there is this student, he has passed. Of course, there is, can you compare a person who got a B plus and a person who got an E?
On that note, as you are comparing a person who got a B plus and a person who got an E, this one strikes my mind in the sense of parents and society have a lot of pressure and expectations from the students, whether adults, whether they're normal students. Like for him, he went back to school because of the passion and the in-zeal driving him, and he delivered. Then there is this normal student in this particular school who is also being expected, like the case scenario that I did mention before, of a student, or no, not of a student, of a school not being accorded their correct marks. Mm-hmm. I will follow up to see if the ministry changed and they accorded them the correct marks. Looking at it, to you, Madam Salome, if a school is not accorded the correct marks, where should they go? And for these students that have been accorded the correct marks, student A has an A, student B has a B, student C up to E, and these different students from different families. And yet, if student C got a C, and the parent is expecting student C to get an A, which he or she did not deliver, what are we supposed to do? At what particular time should a student go back to retake their exam or their class in the sense of repeating? At what time should a student repeat? Is it because the family, the society, and peers have said you did not deliver as expected? Or should it be because the student have decided upon him or herself that these are not the grade I expected, I think I can do better, so I think I can go back to school again and give it one more time? At what time?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the issue of the school that got, all students got maybe A's or all students got E's, let me be sincere enough. For real, NEC has to come out clean on this one. In other words, you're trying to tell the teachers in that school that the best you can do is that. So there was no value addition to those students if we are looking at the grading system. That for the 4 years, none of those students learned anything if we are to go by the grade. And that is very demoralizing for the learner, for the community, for the teachers. And also even on the other part, if you look at those who got all A's, you're trying to tell us that all those students reason, think, walk, do things the same way, which is a lie. That one, truth be told, NEC has to do what is supposed to be done. And I'm glad there is a committee in place where there should be complaints. And when complaints are taken, as he said, as Benjamin said, when you accept your weaknesses, you're wise. Let just NEC accept. And NEC is not a wall, it's human beings. And human beings make mistakes. We don't need them to come out in the public and tell us we made these mistakes, because maybe they know what they are doing. But let them do justice where it is due. Now, when it comes to at what point does somebody feel that I should go back? You know, the problem with community is parents, and parents should stop this. You're investing your money in your child does not mean that you're going to live that child's future. This child knows what they want and how they want, and they will live their own future. So don't think that by paying 100,000 you should reap an A. God rest Professor Shiwani's soul in peace. This is one man who made me realize that it's not the papers that I have that will work. It is the passion that I have. Because if I look at the papers that I have, I should be somewhere else. But the passion I have for adult education, I have not moved an inch. So the same goes to this student. We normally say have a self-meeting, because no student, I think every student in Form 4 must be between 17, 18 and ahead and above. I don't see anybody who did Form 4 with 15. Maybe there may be 16, but I'm not so sure. Have a self-meeting. You are an adult. You know where you went wrong. You know, actually, this nimepewa, hii ni yangu. And it is me to decide what I want to be in future. Maybe this you gave me, I reached a point nikaona, the other time we were told people are graduating, there are no jobs, so and what. So with this, I know English, I know Kiswahili. Dad, I want to go to a polytechnic and become this and this. Or I just want to get out of here. I'm through with this. I've satisfied NEC that I got my E. Let me do something to do with skills. And you find maybe I want to be a chips person. I want to cook chips, and if you open for me a chips place, I'll do very well with my E. Nobody will ask me, show me what you got that you're making this money. Have a self-meeting. You know what you want. There are no more jobs outside, white-collar jobs outside there. We only need skills, and we need you to communicate. Have a self-meeting. If you wanted to become a doctor and you've been scoring an A, B, there is no need of you to get an E. Something went somewhere wrong, and you know your dream the way it has taken him 23 years. And you are even talking about your security man who was still looking for a job. Maybe he's looking for a job to get money to move to the second level. While you're just looking at surface, he got a B, why can't he go to university? There are other things that makes this person be where he is. He told you until he dropped out, he was sacked until he formed that group and somebody took his ideas, then he realized, I need those papers. So let these students have a self-meeting. Call yourself to a meeting, write your own minutes, look at yourself, where have you come from, where are you, where do you want to go? Then wisdom is God-given. Benjamin will tell you, the Bible says, if you lack wisdom, ask from God and he'll give it to you freely. Knowledge and skills are acquired through books and interaction. Who are you interacting with? Look at the world. Where are we headed? And you don't need to go to that school where you are. There are other forms of learning. Come to us. We'll show you how you can even study. If actually you are sure you know where you went wrong and you could get a B, come. We'll walk with you through that journey and you'll get that B.
Interesting. Because now as you're saying all this, I'm wondering, we're asking after Form 4, what next? What's next automatically for a normal students got to know, depending with the grades, you're supposed to go either to campus, either to artisan courses, either to college, depending with your grades again. With the career or with the dreams that I want to pursue, we have now, with the current government that we are in, I stand to be corrected, they were discussing about taking out HELB. It is not yet confirmed, but we'll have issues of also acquiring sponsorship, acquiring resources for you to continue to the next level. At times also for the class 8 students, it's a limiting issue, whereby if you don't have the correct, the proper amount of resources to move on, you feel like you're stagnant and blocked. What do we do when it comes to matter resources? Because again, given that Mr. Mushoki here, being our example today, took 23 years, and now, I don't know, you'll mention to us what is your moving on forward. You've said you want to continue on up to PhD. When you're talking now, we are talking matter to do with resources. Do you have a sponsor who is ready to sponsor you to that level? Have you planned yourself in maybe matters to do with, I understand you have insurance policy for educations, such and such things. That is what we are looking at right now, because I understand HELP, it's also like an insurance policy for education, whereby you go borrow money from the government, go pay your school fees, educate yourself. When you get employed, you pay back the loan. Now, financial being the limiting resource, what do we do next? If I don't have finances, do I stay home? Do I go look for a job? What do I do next? So that, I don't get wasted here. I got an A, I want to go to the university. My parents are not able to take me to pursue the engineering course, pursue the aviation course, pursue different courses that you do want to pursue, because the different courses come with the different fee structure. For me as a student, not to get depressed, not to start blaming my parents, saying, I worked so hard, you're not doing your due diligence, you're not doing your part as a parent. What do I do as a student? And also as a parent, what does a parent has to do so that they're working together?
Actually, the sad thing in this country is when people peg time on your achievements. It is very sad. And people who looked at Mushoki as a failure, there are people you were with Mr. Mushoki who looked at you and saw you are a failure. And some of them even just reached Form 4, they are doing nothing. Now here you are, you're going to do something. Resources may not be there, but you'll do something. So this issue of time, I keep asking people, show me a signpost that says no school ahead. You'll get a signpost saying no road ahead, no what, but I've never seen one that says no school ahead or no more learning. First and foremost, every parent should be very open. And at this point, we just have to be very open, because since Corona, things changed. The economy is not good. The education has become damn expensive. So as you wait for your parent to take you to your next level, a parent should be able to tell this child, you have scored this, you need to move to the next level, but this person, don't move because I as a parent have said. What is your passion? Somebody may have come in with an A, called for medicine, and that is not the passion of this student. And maybe that's a passion, but the parent does not have the money. Come out clear, let our leaders come out clear that if that is the passion of this person, you will know it within the first time, even when this person admitted in the university. If that is a passion, university should just be sincere enough. They are very needy students, and they can see them. It is visible. This person, they call it kuinama. Anainama breakfast, anainama lunch, anainama supper. Why are you chasing this person? Even if you look, anaweza fika kwa darasa, the shoes amevaa are borrowed. unaona tu poverty is written. Why are you chasing this person away? Can't we have programs in the university where this person can give back? I remember when you were studying, you could go and work in the library, you can even clean the hostels, and then you learn. What is so difficult? Why are we Kenyans becoming so mean to each other? So a parent should be clear that you can afford 1, 2, 3. And there should also be, the government should come up with a policy whereby if you have been called to university this year and you're unable to raise that fee, your slot should never be thrown away. That slot should be, somebody is given, but you'll be given time to look for fees to go back. I can go. Money, the beauty about money, Benjamin, is this. You will never know. If I put 1,000 shillings from here, you put your 1,000 and your 1,000 and everybody puts. Unless I tell you the source of my money, you will not know. So if this child has a passion, maybe they can sell mboga, or they can do something, or they can just go and farm for a year to raise the starting fee. Let it be done that way, that this student to go and do 1, 2, 3 in a clean way and raise money. You can sell mandazi and save. If the parent can afford you to sell mandazis, amuka na hizo mandazi asubuhi. Uza and save, save until you get money to study. Number 2, we don't want everybody to be forced to go to the university to learn. We can learn online. For the love of God, let those who cannot afford to come to class, let the university cut out those other issues. Can this learner just be charged maybe for the internet, maybe for other things? But if somebody who is in university is paying for the same course 100,000 and I'm learning online from the comfort zone of my home, why should I pay 100,000? Why can't it come down? What is so wrong with us?
I thought comfort comes with a higher more expense, because I understand those who do online. Is it more? It's
not supposed to come with a higher expense. Look here, I'm not using your electricity, I'm not staying in your hostels, I'm not eating your food, I'm not bathing using your water. Why should it be more expensive? I'm paying for the internet where I am. You're the same teacher who is teaching those other ones in class. Why should it be more expensive? It should not be more expensive.
Interesting. Now, coming to you, Mr. Moshoki, with the question and the concern that I have raised, finances being a limiting factor, what do you have to say about the same?
Okay, personally, I'll talk about my experience. Because why I did not go to school at the right time, it's lack of school fees. Although I'm sorry, I lost my mother at a very old age, at a young age. That's around 9 years. That is why my father died. And 17 years down the line, my mother also passed away. So she could not be able to pay the school fees for me. So I struggled so much. I went to CDF's offices, but there was no one to listen to my cry. Now, as I was doing my KCSE last year, I think I was walking around more than 5 kilometers from where the school is and where my home is. Actually, if you don't have the finance, even if you are bright, no matter how bright you are, and not, something interesting is that our politicians, they only help a group of people because they are aiming something, maybe the future votes, but they cannot help the individual person who has the dream and who can bring change in the society. Also, the only thing that I can say is that those who are able to sponsor others, they should come out and help them, because I know if I was helped at the correct time, maybe I could be the one who is making the policies in this country. One thing I would like to work with is the Ministry for Education. Personally, I dream so much to work with them, because I remember when I was getting back to school, I went to a certain school, then I was denied a chance to get there because of the age. Then when I went home, I decided, can I write a policy which can also fit the others? Because right now as we speak, at the adult class, we don't have the teachers, we don't have the scholarship who come there to help you. We suffer a lot. And maybe when you ask the bursary, the ministry will tell you, our school, our ministry does not have the formation to help the adult students. So what happens? That brain is getting wasted. I remember last year, we had a very good class. No, in fact, I could not get a C+. I was aiming to get a good grade. But for the whole year, without meeting a laboratory teacher, without meeting a teacher who can teach you the set books, in fact, we run our set books alone. We are discussing alone. Why? Because there was no resources and there was no teachers. Because the resources include the teacher, then the books. Then a student getting exposed maybe to failure subjects. I think what I can say, like for now, like me, I know I don't have finance for now, but I am hoping for the best. Because if I can look back, I can say like someone said, at this far is God. Now, it is now coming from my heart. At this far I have come is God. Why? Because 23 years now chasing for the dream, and no one is there to come there and help you. All what they could do is now telling you, you are wasting time, you are old, you get married. I remember I asked someone, if I get married now, what next? Because let me say something. Life is not only being born, then you get married, and then you die. There are so many things God has invested in you. You can do more. You can do a lot of things. So you can yes, it is, marrying is a part of time, is a part of life. But the most important thing in life is to do what God has called you to do. And you can do it without marrying, or you can do it with even marrying. So I can say that those who can able to help others, please let them come and help us. Let them go to the society on the ground, at the grassroots level, because that is where we have good runners. Even the talents, there are so many talents there at the grassroots levels, but they are not visible. The reason why, because those people who are responsible for that, they are not doing their work. Somebody somewhere has failed. And that is why, you see, you can see, maybe for example, someone who was in maybe let us give an example of national school. That school, because it is known for the leaders and what they do, those students may be given maybe the straight A's. But those who are in maybe this school, maybe they are given low grades. You see, that is unfair. Because I remember I was speaking with my colleague, who the one we did the KCSE last year at the same time. Then she was complaining. Then she was saying, that exam was so easy for me to pass. Why did NEC give me this grade? Then I said, hey, something somewhere is being unfair. And what can you say? It's now those who are not maybe strong enough, the ordinary person who can help them, it's God. And I am the living witness. Yes, there is God in heaven. And my slogan is, in Christ I live, not we live. I live because I have lived for 23 years, fighting for the chance to finish Form 4. Then I go to university. Then I pursue my course. Not only pursuing my course and having a good family and having a good life, but I'm hoping that I will change many souls and also the society, because I believe that, I feel that there are so many in my hand, not for myself, but for the people. Yeah.
From what Mr. Mushoki has just said, I understand you are running out of time, but briefly, I'd want to get to know your perspective of the same, Mr. Benjamin and Madam Salome. But Madam Salome, as you answer this briefly, what he has mentioned, lack of resources and support in the sense of materials, learning materials, education center availability, and also teachers availability. Is it true that there is the shortage of teachers and resources in terms of books and exposure for the adult education, or is it that he did not know the correct channels?
It is a fact that we don't have resources. we don't have teachers, they are not enough. Because as he says, many of them they get a small guidance from one teacher who may only just be knowing how to teach English or Kiswahili or one subject, and then they go and read by themselves. And actually, it really, really hurts because every organization, everybody in the world thinks that pumping money for formal education is the solution. The solution to the problems of the many who are suffering lies in adult education. If you're given resources and teachers, and even our learners like Mr. Mushoki should not even be doing KCSE or KCP. We should have an exam for them that is an equivalent of the same. And then we move on and have them have a better future. So we don't have those. In fact, the retirement rate right now, we have about only 834 teachers in the whole country.
Allow me to interrupt you as you continue with the same. My other question would be that I did not ask. He mentioned something about going to a particular school and being denied admission to that school because of age. Why do we have, is it a policy that is brought across that past this age you're not supposed to be in this school? Or is it for bad publicity? Or what makes a principal or a teacher not to allow a student to go to school simply because of age?
I mean, the policy is very clear on that because there are policies that allow teachers, the teachers to take in a certain age. And it's even now worse because CBC is age and stage based. Somebody like Mushoki will never go back to a school to learn if he did not go through CBC in the years to come. And those policies are rigid, and I think it's about high time we looked at those policies and came up with what's best. And the main reason why they did that the age thing being, age cut being that, it's because of the entry characteristic at each level. And the teachers in primary are trained to handle children. Those in secondary are trained to handle up to a certain level. And if you take somebody of 40, 50 years to a secondary school and you find the teacher there is around 30-something, there is a problem somewhere. You see the age factor, who is listening to who. If you tell this man who is a man of a family or a woman of a family to go and clean a dormitory, he or she is used to ordering the children to do all that. So those are some of the things, and there are things you do at a certain age, and that's why there is adult education. And this adult education must be made active so as to cater for those who will not go to those formal schools. Like the CS said, he has left the overage students to be taken to adult education. Mr. CS, where are the resources? Where are those centers you want us to take? Where are the teachers?
I understand that we're running out of time, and we've barely covered everything that's needed to be covered. I will invite you guys again to come and continue with this conversation. Mr. Benjamin, in less than 1 second, give your parting shot.
I would say we should not think about the problems and the resources. We think about one thing, the heart that is strong and the heart that is very weak. Weak hearts, they always complain. Strong hearts, they fight, they collide with difficulties. And that's why one of the motivational speakers called Zig Ziglar said like this: I have never seen a happy man who does not know how to be thankful.
I have never seen a happy man who does not know how to be thankful. Let's continue this conversation across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.